Now in this question, you have two numbers represented by a linked list where each node contains a single digit. The digits are stored in reverse order, such that one's digits at the head of this list. So we need to write a function that adds two numbers and returns the sum as a linked list. So let's say we have two linked lists like this. So this linked list, in the first list, we see that the number is 617 because we said that it's going to be located at the reverse order, and in the second linked list, the number is 295. Now if we sum up these numbers over here, we will get 912. So this number will be stored in a linked list in reverse order. So this means that 2 will be the first element, and 1 will be the second element, and 9 will be the last element. So if we read this in reverse order, it's going to be 912. So how can we write our method? So to write a method for this question over here, it's very useful to remember from math how exactly addition works. So let's say we want to add two numbers over here. So we have 617 and we have 295. So here the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to add 7 plus 5. So 7 plus 5 is 12. So we are going to put 2 over here, and 1 will be carried out to the next step. So in this case we have 1 in our mind. So then we are going to continue add 1 plus 9 over here. And then we will add this one that comes from the previous step to this over here. So 1 plus 9 plus 1, because there is a 1 from here that comes over here. So this means that it's going to be 11. So one more time we are going to write last digit. So the last digit is 1. So we will keep the 1 in our mind and we will carry it to the next step. So in the next step we have 6 plus 2 and plus 1, and it's going to be 9. So by performing these steps over here, we can sum up this linked list over here. Now let's see how this is working in case of these two linked lists over here. So we are going to mimic this process recursively by adding node by node and carrying over any excess data to the next node. So let's walk through this for this linked list over here. So we are going to do the following. So the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to add 7 plus 5 over here. So when we add the 7 plus 5, we get 12. So 2 becomes the first node in our linked list, and we are carrying out 1 to the next node. Then we are going to add 1 plus 9. So it's going to be 10. Then 1 is coming from the previous node. So it's going to be added and it will be 11. So we will write 1 over here, and we will carry the 1 to the next sum over here. Now in the next stage we have 6 plus 2. So in this case the one that comes from the previous step also will be added to these numbers over here. So it's going to be 9. So with this we have successfully implemented our logic over here. Now based on this logic, we are going to write a method which adds two lists together and give us another list based on the numbers that we have provided. So let's head over to Java and create our method over there. Now in our previous lecture, we have created linked list class over here, node class and question class. So inside question class, we have implemented previous questions answers. Now here we are going to implement a method for solving question number 4, which is sum list in our section. So here, before continuing to write this method over here, I'll just do some modification in our linked list class over here. So as you remember, when we are creating linked list class over here, we have created a method which is responsible for inserting a node to our linked list. Now here, I will just add one condition over here to check that if the linked list does not exist, in this case, it's going to create it and add this node over here. So in this case, the if condition will be like this: if head equals to null, because we are going to need this condition in our method, so that's why I'm going to add it over here. So if head is equal to null, in this case, we are going to call this method create linked list based on the node value that comes from the parameter. And then we are going to put return over here, not to continue to the further, because in this case we have only one node in our linked list, and this node is already inserted to our linked list. Now after this condition, we are going to implement our method, which is answer for this question. So our method will return linked list, so that's why I'm going to put linked list, and the name of method will be sum list, and this method will take two parameters. So the first parameter will be the type of linked list A, and the second parameter also will be the type of linked list, which will be linked list B. Then inside function, the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to create two nodes. So node 1 will be the head of the first linked list, so it's going to be linked list A.head, and node 2 will be the head of the linked list B. So here we have created n1 and n2, and we have set to n1 first linked list head, and to n2 second linked list head. Then we are going to create another integer variable which will be for carrying excess value to the next step. So initially I'm going to set it to 0 because in this case we don't have any carried value over here. Then I'm going to continue to create another linked list which will be the result linked list in our method. So here is going to be new linked list like this. So actually our method will return this linked list at the end. Then we are going to write our loop condition like this. So we are going to start to loop through these two linked lists over here. So the loop condition will be like this. So while n1 is not equal to null, or n2 is not equal to null, then in this case the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to create new variable which will be the result, and I will set the carry variable to this result over here. Then we will continue to our if condition. So if n1 is not equal to null, in this case we are going to add the value of n1 to the result variable that we created over here. So here if condition will be like this: if n1 is not equal to null, in this case in result we will going to add the value of n1. So in this case it's going to be n1 dot value. Then we are going to set n1 next to n1, because in this case we have to continue to the next node. Then same will be applicable for the second node over here, which is n2. So it's going to be like this. So I'm going to check n2. If it's not equal to null, we are going to add n2 to the result, because we are adding these two numbers over here. So with this, these two nodes are added together in the result variable. Then we have to insert the last digit of this result to the node. So that's why I'm going to call insert method of result linked list. So we have created result linked list over here. So I'm going to call insert method with the value of result mod 10. Because in this case, for example, if we divide 12 by 10, the remainder will be 2. So we need the last digit of the 2-digit number. So to get the last digit of 2-digit number, we have to divide it by 10 and get the remainder. With this, we will get the last digit of the 2-digit number. Then we have to carry the excess value to the next step. So to do so, I'm going to set result divided by 10 to carry. So in this case, 1 will be carried to the next step. So as you remember in our slides that we have added 5 plus 7 together and we got 12. So if we divide 12 by 10, it's going to be 2. The remainder will be the 2. And if we divide 12 by 10, it's going to be 1. So 1 is carried to the next step. Then at the end, we are going to return result linked list. Now with this, we have completed our method. So basically what we are doing over here is we are looping through the both of linked lists and adding values together. And at the end, if the number is exceed the 1-digit number, then in this case we are carrying the exceeded value to the next step by dividing this number by 10. So let's see how this is working in practice. So basically what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to create two linked lists in main class, which will keep the numbers that we have explained in our slides. So the first linked list will be like this: linked list A. So here we are going to insert 3 elements. So the first node that we are going to insert is number 7. So as you remember, in the first node of the first linked list we had 7, then in the second node we had 1, then in the third node we had 6. So I'm going to add them one by one. So here the first node is 7, then 1, then 6. So if you read this number reversely, it's going to be 617. Then we need to create second linked list over here. So I'm going to just copy this code from here and put it over here and put the numbers inside this linked list B. So we know that in our case the first node was 5, then the second node was 9, and the third node was 2. And if we reversely read this number, it's going to be 295. Then I'm going to create an instance of questions class and call SumList method for these two linked lists over here. So it's going to be like this: questions q is equal to new question. Then the type of linked list, so here I will put result, will be q.sum linked list. So as you know, our SumList method returns linked list. So when we declare our method, we have put linked list over here. So this method returns linked list. So that's why I have created the linked list and set the return value from this method to this result linked list over here. Then at the end, I'm going to call traversal method of this linked list over here. So it's going to be result.traversal. Now after calling traversal, we are going to see our method in the console. So let's run our code to see how this is working. Now after running it, you see that it printed out the sum of these two numbers over here, and our linked list is looked like this. So the first element is 2, and the second element is 1, and the third element is 9. So as you see, when we explained in our slides, this was the result linked list. So as you see, these two linked lists are equal. So we don't have any problem in our method. Now with this, we have come to the end of this lecture. So in this lecture, we have implemented a logic in which we can sum up two linked lists together. So see you in the next question.